Imagine what your life could look like 6 months from now if you stopped making excuses, cut out distractions, and got brutally honest with yourself. Not next week. Not when things calm down. Now. 6 months of pure focus and commitment can change the direction of your entire life. But only if you're willing to face the hard truths you've been avoiding. If that statement made you pause, good. Most people scroll past the exact advice that could transform them. This isn't another piece of content you half-watch while checking your phone. This is a wake-up call for the person who's sick of wasting time, sick of watching others grow while they feel stuck, sick of starting over, sick of living the same day on repeat. This is your moment to draw a line in the sand. Chapter 1, Get Real, Brutally Honest. Transformation starts with the truth. Not surface-level affirmations, not temporary motivation. Real, painful, freeing honesty. You can't change your life if you keep pretending it's fine. You can't level up while clinging to the same toxic habits, excuses, and thought patterns that are holding you back. Ask yourself, what am I doing every day that's actually ruining my life? What thoughts am I allowing to shape my future? What choices am I making that I know are leading me nowhere? Maybe you're constantly putting things off. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes next week, and nothing ever changes. Maybe you're addicted, not just to substances, but to comfort, to scrolling, to staying in your safe zone. Or maybe you're surrounded by people who drag you down, people who mock your goals, people who fear your growth. It's time to stop blaming everything else. The past can't be undone. The world isn't going to slow down. And no one is coming to fix your life for you. If you want a different outcome in 6 months, it starts with this declaration: I'm done living this way. Not, I'm thinking about it. Not, I'll try. You're done. That's the power of decision. Chapter 2, Break the Habits That Break You. If you want to feel better, you have to stop doing the things that make you feel worse. Sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing for most people to face. You already know the habits that make you feel ashamed, lazy, and small. They're the same habits you return to when you're stressed, lost, or avoiding your own potential. Maybe it's mindless scrolling. Maybe it's overeating. Maybe it's staying up too late, skipping workouts, dodging your responsibilities. Every time you indulge those patterns, you reinforce a version of yourself you don't respect. That's where self-hate grows, in the daily actions that betray your values. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being tired of disappointing yourself. It's about building integrity, where what you say and what you do finally match. When you stop negotiating with the habits that keep you stuck, you reclaim your energy, your confidence, your self-worth. Set one simple rule: no more actions that make me hate myself. That might mean getting up earlier. Drinking more water. Putting your phone in another room. Cooking real meals. Journaling instead of bottling up your feelings. These small shifts, repeated daily, rewire your identity. They remind you that you're in control. That you're capable. That your future is worth fighting for. You won't be perfect. You'll still have hard days. But you'll no longer be hiding from the life you're meant to live. Chapter 3, Build a Routine That Forces Growth. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's not a byproduct of wishful thinking or good intentions. It's the result of showing up consistently for what matters, especially on the days you don't feel like it. A growth routine isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. Start with what actually matters to you. What gives you energy? What improves your mind, body, and soul? What builds momentum toward the future you want? Ditch the habits that drain you. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone, giving their mind away before the day even starts. Instead, begin your mornings with purpose. Move your body. Breathe. Write. Reflect. Read something that fuels you. Protect your mind like it's sacred, because it is. Every choice you make either sharpens your focus or scatters it. And your routine becomes your identity over time. If your routine keeps you small, challenge it. If it keeps you comfortable, stretch it. If it keeps you distracted, simplify it. You don't need a perfect planner or a 5 a.m. miracle routine. You need a system that aligns with who you want to become, and the discipline to stick to it. The truth: 6 months is enough. In 6 months, you could become a version of yourself that feels like a different person. But only if you do the work. Not the pretend work. Not the busy work. The real work, the kind that happens when you stop lying to yourself and start acting like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every day is a chance to rewrite the story. To reclaim your time. To honor your future self. So stop scrolling. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Get honest. Break the habits. Build a routine. And do it every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Because 6 months from now, you'll either be proud of the way you showed up, or you'll be full of excuses. The choice is still yours. Make it count. Chapter 4, Build a Routine That Builds You. Most people start their mornings in reaction mode, waking up, checking notifications, responding to messages, and rushing into the day with no direction. That reactive approach keeps them behind. If you're not leading your morning, you're not leading your life. It starts with reclaiming your first hour. That means structure. That means preparation. That means deciding the night before who you want to be tomorrow. If your plan for the day depends on how you feel in the morning, you've already lost. Feelings are unreliable. Direction is intentional. Before you go to bed, decide what kind of person you'll be when the alarm goes off. When morning comes, you don't debate, you act. Whether you're tired or inspired, you follow through. That's how you grow. That's how discipline is built, when you do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. But don't overpack your routine. Growth doesn't come from doing 15 tasks before breakfast. That's stress, not success. What you need is clarity and simplicity. Choose a few powerful habits that challenge you. Things that sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and clear your thoughts. You don't need more things, you need the right things, done with consistency and purpose. Ask yourself, what do you do in the first hour of your day that makes you stronger? Do you move your body? Clean your space? Fuel your body with something nourishing? Do you breathe in silence before the noise of the world begins? Do you take 5 minutes to reconnect with your goals, or write your thoughts out to anchor your mind? If you're not doing those things, you're wasting the most valuable time you have. The first hour is when you set your tone, before the world asks anything of you. That's where your direction is formed. As you move into your work, ask the real questions. What are you truly working on? Are you doing what matters, or avoiding the hard stuff? Are you letting distractions take over, or are you locked in? Growth demands discomfort. It requires you to push yourself beyond what's easy, into effort, into sweat, into discipline. Your routine also needs reflection. That's not optional. You must carve out time daily to ask yourself, am I getting better? Did I handle today with focus and intention? Am I living the life I say I want? Without reflection, you drift, and you don't realize how far you've gone until you feel completely lost. 10 minutes of honesty a day can save you years of confusion. Your evening matters just as much as your morning. You can't expect to wake up focused if your nights are filled with chaos, mindless entertainment, unhealthy habits, emotional noise. Your evening should support your goals, not erase the progress you made all day. You wind down on purpose. You protect your peace. You plan for tomorrow. That's how you carry momentum forward. The truth is, most people don't change because they don't put pressure on their routine. They rely on how they feel, and they skip the hard parts. They say they'll start Monday. They wait for motivation. 6 months pass and nothing changes, because they're still living in a routine that's built for comfort, not growth. You need to flip that. Create a routine that demands something from you. One that builds self-respect, not just results. One that teaches you to keep going, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching. That's how you begin to trust yourself again. That's when you stop hesitating, stop overthinking, stop quitting, because now, you've proven to yourself that you follow through. Confidence isn't something you think, it's something you earn through consistent effort. And your routine is the training ground. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a simple one, done every single day. Wake up at the same time. Drink water. Move your body. Read 10 pages. Clean your space. Follow through on one important task. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters without excuses. Over time, you raise the bar. That's how real change happens. You don't just do the routine, you become the kind of person who doesn't skip the work. Who shows up no matter what. That identity shift is what transforms everything. And it's not luck. It's structure. It's focus. It's choosing progress over comfort again and again. So if you want to change your life in 6 months, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop bargaining with comfort. Comfort has stolen enough from you. Every time you chose ease over effort, you delayed your potential. And now is the moment to shift that pattern. Start with one hard thing you've been avoiding. Finish it. Then do it again tomorrow. Keep going until it becomes who you are. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to stop choosing the version of yourself that avoids effort. Start feeding the part of you that wants to grow. Over time, those small, difficult choices add up, and they become your momentum. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, your mind will look for excuses. But don't listen. That voice is the one that's kept you stuck. Your job now is to recognize it and act anyway. Progress isn't loud. It won't always give you instant rewards. But it will give you something deeper: pride, resilience, self-respect. And that becomes your strength. You carry yourself differently. You think with clarity. You handle pressure with calm. That's the real reward, not just what you achieve, but who you become. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself into misery. It's about building the life you say you want. And it starts with a routine, designed for growth, done with intention, repeated until it's who you are. Certainly. Here's a rewritten version of your message in approximately 750 words, preserving the tone, message, and emotional momentum, while organizing it more clearly and fluidly. Chapter 5, Train your mind, choose growth over comfort. Confidence isn't just something you're born with, it's built, and progress is what builds it. Every time you move forward, even in small ways, you prove to yourself that you're capable. And that self-belief. That's what confidence really is. From now on, make yourself a promise: when you're standing between the easy way and the hard one, the choice between comfort and growth, choose growth. Choose the action that demands more from you. Choose the path that makes you stronger. Even if you're tired. Even when you're uncertain. Especially when it would be easier to sit back and stay the same. Because comfort never builds anything worth having. Those hard choices, day after day, build a life you respect. A life where you're proud of who you are, not just who you wish you were. That's the goal. That's why you're here. Not for change that looks good on paper, but for change that transforms how you live and who you become. And how do you get there? One hard decision at a time. You've already wasted enough days avoiding the work, clinging to comfort, chasing distractions. It's time to earn your progress. If you're serious about changing your life in 6 months, you must let go of the little things that feel good now but cost you days, months, or even years. The scroll on your phone. The snack you didn't need. The show that helps you avoid reality. The small talk that fills silence but adds no value. These things feel harmless, but over time, they rewire your brain to crave instant pleasure and reject the slow build of progress. Most people live in cycles of avoidance. They wake up and reach for a dopamine hit. They escape their stress instead of solving it. They opt for short-term fixes over long-term solutions. Then 6 months later, they wonder why nothing feels different. You have to make a new decision: want a better life more than you want temporary comfort. That's where it starts. With awareness. Catch yourself in the moment right before you reach for the easy out and ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? Usually, the craving for quick pleasure is masking something else: boredom, fear, anxiety, insecurity. But instead of facing those feelings, most people bury them under stimulation. And that's how they stay stuck. But you're not most people. You're retraining your mind. You're building endurance for delayed gratification, the ability to do the right thing now even if the reward comes later. It's not easy. The world is designed to steal your focus. But your future isn't built on what's easy. It's built on what's right. Start small. Maybe it's your phone. Maybe it's the junk food you reach for when you're stressed. Maybe it's conversations that drain your energy. Whatever it is, start paying attention. Then pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me? That question alone can reroute your entire day. It brings you back to purpose, to discipline, to clarity. It reminds you that your life is shaped not by the goals you set, but by the actions you repeat. This kind of mental training isn't about perfection. It's about power, the power to lead yourself, to stay focused when nothing's exciting, to keep going even when no one's watching. Most people don't have that power. But you can build it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Choose growth every day. That's how strength becomes your identity. There's a huge difference between reacting out of habit and responding with purpose. When you react, you're letting your urges guide you. When you respond, you're guiding yourself. And every time you choose delayed gratification, you make space for something far more powerful: clarity, discipline, confidence, and self-respect. Take the first step. That's all you need to build momentum. And once you move, don't stop. Keep going until the hard thing becomes something you finish, not something you fear. Every hard choice builds something: confidence, resilience, clarity. That's worth far more than comfort. Because life will get harder. But when it does, you'll be stronger. You'll be ready. There is no growth in avoidance. No peace in procrastination. No pride in playing small. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Not tomorrow. Today. That's where the change begins. You don't need motivation, you need movement. You don't need comfort, you need courage. And you don't need more time, you need to act. Right now. Chapter 10, Growth over Comfort. You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's understandable. But in trying to keep everyone comfortable, you slowly lose something far more important: your edge. The fire that once pushed you forward starts to fade. Your ambition weakens. You begin showing up smaller, quieter, and less like the version of yourself you know you're meant to be. Growth demands energy. It requires clarity, discipline, and consistency. And you can't sustain that if your environment is constantly pulling you down, into conversations that shrink your vision, into relationships that normalize mediocrity, into moments that question your drive rather than celebrate it. Take a hard look at the people you spend the most time with. Do they challenge you to rise, or give you permission to stay the same? Do they talk about growth, discipline, and self-respect? Or are they more interested in distractions, gossip, and excuses? After spending time with them, do you feel focused and empowered, or drained and unfocused? These aren't small questions. They're the kind of questions that determine whether you build a powerful life, or waste years in a loop of stagnation. And sometimes, the hardest part of growth is admitting that you've outgrown people you care about. That doesn't make you superior. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means you're heading in different directions, and not everyone is meant to come with you. You can't build a powerful life if your environment is built around comfort. You have to protect your peace. Guard your focus. You know who's holding you back. You feel it in your gut. When you're with them, you're not energized, you're tired. You dim your light to make them comfortable. You hide your goals. You downplay your progress. That's not support. That's fear disguised as advice. Because when you grow, you force others to look at themselves. And not everyone is ready for that. So instead of rising with you, some will try to pull you back down, not out of malice, but out of fear of being left behind. But here's the truth: your future isn't a group project. If you want clarity, growth, and forward momentum, then you must clean up your circle. You don't have to make a grand announcement. You don't have to explain yourself. Just stop giving your time and energy to people who don't value it. It's not about hate. It's about boundaries. It's about choosing progress over stagnation, peace over noise, and truth over comfort. And once you start doing this, once you start walking away from what's draining, you get something back: your energy. Your clarity. Your power. You stop filtering your goals through someone else's fears. You stop editing your dreams to avoid making others uncomfortable. You stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. Yes, it will feel lonely at first. When you leave behind the noise, you're left with silence. But in that silence, you find yourself. You hear your own thoughts again. You reconnect with your purpose. You get to rebuild your standard on your terms. And in time, new people show up, people who speak the same language. People who don't flinch when you talk about discipline or goals. People who hold you accountable, who challenge you, who see you. But they won't appear until you make space for them. If your life is filled with the wrong energy, you won't have room to receive the right one. That's why clearing is necessary. That's why honesty matters. This isn't about cutting off everyone who disagrees with you, it's about being intentional. Your circle either helps you grow or holds you back. And if someone consistently drains you, makes you doubt yourself, or distracts you from your purpose, it's your responsibility to do something about it. You don't have unlimited time. You can't afford to walk in circles with people who aren't trying to move forward. You can't keep explaining your desire to grow. You don't owe your energy to anyone who doesn't respect it. The people around you don't just affect your mood, they shape your identity. They influence how you see yourself, what you believe is possible, and how far you're willing to go. That's why this chapter of your life requires courage. Because once you stop settling for draining relationships, you reclaim your mind, your time, and your direction. So ask yourself, who makes you feel small? Who drains your focus? Who distracts you from your goals? Who do you feel the need to shrink around? Answer honestly. No justifications. No excuses. Just truth. And then, act on it. Set the boundaries. Clear the space. Move forward without guilt. Some people are just chapters, not the whole story. Respect their place in your journey and keep walking. This is your time to build. To heal. To focus. To rise. Not everyone can go where you're going. And that's okay. You're not being harsh. You're being honest. And sometimes, honesty is the highest form of self-respect.